Hey everybody, hope things are going good for y'all. Just time for a little Table Rock fishing update report. Um, like I said, this is sort of an unusual year for me. Normally I'm fishing tournaments all over the country right now, and when I'm home, in between, doing all my household responsibilities, I'm fishing different lakes. It's Stockton, Ozarks, Grand, Bull Shoals, Table Rock, but for some reason, like I said, with my instructional trips, everybody's been wanting to go to Table Rock. So I've been on Table Rock a lot this year and even here recently. So I've been keeping up with it pretty good, what's going on. And just wanted to sort of give you all an update on the lake. The lake has changed tremendously over the past three weeks. We've had this continuation of this nonstop rain that's actually been going on like a year. All of our lakes have been up a little bit, for like a year now. But Table Rock has shot up over the past week and a half, 2 weeks. Right now, the lake is, I'm guessing, is probably about 8 feet over normal. Starting to, the amount that they pull it every day, it depends, because we've been getting these torrential rains at night, and you'll get the creeks filling up again. So it's there's just a lot of water coming through the system right now, and it's pushing a lot of dirty water through Table Rock. But what you have right now is you've got a lot of things changing on the lake a lot. There's a lot of dirty water on the upper end of the lake. All the rivers coming in are dirty. The water's is fairly dirty. Not even very far up the White, it starts to get dirty. And of course, the James and the Kings and all that are really dirty too. Water clarity, from like the 13 to the bridge is pretty decent still. But like I said, that's probably going to change a little bit, depending upon the rain we get at nights and how much the back of the creeks are pushing that dirty water in. But what you're going to have, if we finally stabilize the weather a little bit, the back of those creeks and coves are going to start to clean up first, and they're going to be the cleanest water you have, followed by the main lake. But we're going to have some unusually stained conditions on Table Rock moving forward for quite a while, in my opinion. But as far as the fishing goes on the lake, there's a lot of different things changing right now. There's still, since you've had this rapid rise in the water. I mean, traditionally, when the water temperatures are still pretty cold like this, and you have a big rise, you don't have a lot of fish moving up into that shallow cover right off the bat. And and I've been down there. I've been catching a few fish out of that shallow cover, but you don't catch many good ones. A lot of the smaller fish are up shallow right now. But as that water warms up, we start getting these 60-degree nights and 80-degree days. It's not going to take long before those fish start to move up into that flooded cover. Right now, you've got like 6-7 foot of water in some of the flooded bushes. But the problem you have with that is, with the cold water and the water being so dirty, those fish aren't using that cover like they probably will once the lake stabilizes a little bit more. If you're gonna fish the flooded cover like that, I suggest you be in areas that has a little bit cleaner water. A lot of the water right now in those river systems, I'm talking, you got like 6 to 8 inches of visibility. And when you have that much water in those bushes, it's hard to get those fish to bite. So start looking a little bit, where you've got a little bit more cleaner water pushing in. If you can find that like 2 foot visibility, then you can start catching those fish on a lot of different stuff. You can catch them slow rolling spinner baits by those bushes. You can catch them, throwing a big swim bait by them, flipping in there. A lot of different ways you can probably catch those fish. But in my opinion, the majority of the fish right now are still out on that old bank line, which right now is going to be out in front of those bushes, in that 10 foot, 8 to 15 foot zone, really. So that's where you're probably going to start picking up your bigger fish. And and those fish, like I said, they're pretty typical. They'll still bite a jerkbait pretty good. Football head jig, fishing a swim bait slow, the guys that fish Alabama rig, you can still catch them on that. But there's still a good jerkbait bite going on the lake right now. I'm still got trips going on for jerkbait fishing, and that's still been pretty good. Those fish are still setting up in that same water. But we're right in the middle of a big change right now, as far as the lake, fishing wide open, how you want to fish it. And but if I was, had any advice for everybody wanting to go down, just go down. This is a perfect time to go down there and fish how you like to fish. If you like to fish a little bit deeper and you're still in that pre-spawn mode, get out there, in that, on those flatter points, and get out there in that 15, 20 foot of water, and you can still catch fish in that. And if you want to get up there and beat the bushes, you can catch them doing that. I mean, I caught, quite a few on a spinnerbait the other day, up shallow, but like I said, no good ones. And then you can still, sometimes get on like the bluffs and stuff like that don't have much cover on it, and parallel those, with like a, some type of a crankbait and catch them. But the thing that I'm really looking forward to is once that water temperature starts to hit that 60-degree mark, and I don't mean 60 degrees, the fake 60 degrees, because I hear people say, "Oh, I found 65-degree water today." That's a fake temperature. The water that you see in the back of those coves are on areas that's getting a lot of sun on them that are 60, 65 degrees. That doesn't really matter. It's all about the water temperature on the main lake right off the bat in the morning. And once that water temperature on the main lake, first thing in the morning, hits about 60, 62 degrees, that's when you're going to see a big movement of those fish shallow. And once that water starts to get away from that brown tint and starts to get a little bit more in that green tint, stabilizes a little bit more, if it stays up in those bushes, it's going to be some tremendous fishing on Table Rock over the next few weeks. So anyway, that's the report. It's sort of, like I said, it's a little bit early to have this high water. A lot of times we have the higher water like in May and June. Makes it a little bit tougher when it's this cold, but they're still there to be caught, and it's pretty, like I said, pretty wide open to however you want to catch it. But anyway, they canceled our tournaments for April. I don't look for them to start the tournaments up even in May. I think our Bassmaster tournament at Cherokee is going to get canceled. So I'm still doing my instructional trips. As long as the state allows us to keep going fishing, we'll keep doing that. So anybody interested in going down Table Rock, Stockton, the Bull Shoals, Ozarks, shoot me a private message, and we'll go over it and we'll go catch them. So I hope you guys are doing good, and take care. Thanks.